And a good Monday, everybody. Welcome in. Chasing Big Joe, 1025 The Game. Hope you're having a great day so far. He's Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe. Dr. Cray Nick Frazier on the ones and twos behind the glass. Hope you had a great weekend as well. What's up, JoJo?
Hey, man, it's good. We got some storms rolling through, so our good friend Katie Morgan from Fox 17 will join us at 1:45 today. It's one of those, maybe, then it gets worse, it gets better, it gets worse. So we'll talk to Katie at 1:45 to make sure we make it through the night.
She is not only the chief meteorologist at Fox 17, but she's the chief meteorologist of the Chasing Big Joe show as well.
Exactly right. So
we have a few. We have the Chasing Big Joe weather team. You know, our friend Davis Nolan will chip in, even in retirement every now and then. But we're going to bring Neil Oren back from time to time.
These are all official, non-paid positions.
And they are honored to do it.
Yeah, it looks good on a resume.
It sure doesn't.
We look forward to that every time. It's like, hey, busy? You come on for us a little bit. So it's all good, man.
So we have that. We have John McClain who's going to join us at 2 and at 2:45, because I know one person in particular absolutely loves this segment, and we will have celebrity birthdays. What day is it? At 2:45. So we're excited, of course, to have that. And if you don't like it, it's okay.
Keep listening.
It's okay. You'll keep talking about it because of how much you don't like it. Right, and it just helps us. So thank you. We appreciate that. But the draft is in the books. And I will say, after kind of looking at the whole picture, taking a little time to think about the Tate pick at 4 and all of that, I like the Titans draft. Let's see how they play. Let's see how they do. But I think, you know what? On paper, it's not too bad.
Don't do this to yourself.
So let's just see what happens.
I was telling you guys, I think that Borgons and them like what they already have in-house on offensive linemen. I know they added 2 in the later rounds, which is fine. I mean, that's okay. But you got a couple of guys that come in and play right away. I think Anthony Hill, the linebacker of Texas, we talked about him last week.
Like that might be the pick of the draft.
I mean, just watch. I know when they show you highlight reel, you're going to see all the best plays, but that dude is all over the field. I mean, special teams, he's already plugged in right there, but the guy knows how to play big time moments, and so that'll be good as well. And you know, the later rounds, the Singleton running back out of Penn State, Coogan out of Indiana, the big boy out of Baylor. So some guys you can plug in. I think the later guys, you know, maybe hit the team, work in, see where you fit in. You're not expected to contribute right away. If you can, that's fantastic. But I think they like what they've got in house on the old line so far. That's why they didn't trade up and get somebody early on in the second round. They took Falk instead. So I think they got a plan. They're going to stick to it. I think it's a heavy rotation with a lot of things that go on over there. And so we're good. But you're right. You know, it's going to wait and see what happens to camp and go forward and see what team you got when you hit the field in September. Again, I really hope the schedule comes out in like 2.5 weeks. It's a home game versus Jacksonville. I want a home game versus Jacksonville in September for the Titans.
That would be fun. That would be
conference
a lot of fun.
Game. Get it out of the way. Get the crowd behind him. Win that game. Then you got Jacksonville already in a hole. You're 1-0, feeling good about yourself. So look, that's a long time off. We got 4+ months for all that goes on, but I think they're really happy with what they are. No team's going to come out and say, you know what? If I make it through September, don't get fired because this draft class, it'll be a miracle. I mean, everybody's good, but there's one draft grade remark company, whatever, that gave the Titans an A+. And I don't remember who it was.
Really?
Yeah. So that's fine. I mean, but again, you got to come. How many have we been through? Like, oh, that's a B+, that's an A- draft, and these guys just don't do anything. So have to wait and see like everything else. But I'm on board with you as well.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a player that we're going to fight about, and that's okay. And I think that's Nick Singleton. I mean, this dude had a draft grade of, you know, like two or three in round 2 or 3.
Right.
And they got him, where'd they get him? The 5th?
Yeah.
I like him. I think he broke all of Saquon's records. He set all the records at Penn State. I think he, with like a lot of people, just the James Franklin stuff had worn out.
Right.
So I think that guy could end up being the steal.
I'm with you to a certain point because I even remember I never worked with Floyd. I interviewed Floyd many times about drafts, and he always said, if a guy's got a second round grade and he's there in the 5th round, why?
Sure. And I think that is totally fair. But
so come in and show me that they were all wrong and see what you could do. I mean, you're going to take snaps from Pollard? Probably not. Spears? I don't know. Mullins, Kal-El Mullins. I mean, I don't know right now, but competition is good in a lot of things, and so that's what they got now.
Yeah. So I mean, they got that. They can, work with that and see what happens. But I'm excited about it overall. With what they have, I think Coogan can come in and compete with Schlotman. I'm being told is how you say his name.
Schlotman.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have a healthy competition there for center. And then the guard they got from Arkansas, that's the one that I think that's of all the picks, I'm kind of like, I'm not so sure there, but we'll see.
Who was what year was it? They drafted the guy from Arkansas in the 2nd round or 3rd round.
Jeremiah Patola.
Yes. That's something like that. Yeah. He was awful.
Terrible. He went 2nd round. He was like a 4th round or something.
Yeah, he's like 20 years old, and like they cut him pretty soon. Tretola. Tretola. Was it Sebastian?
Sebastian Tretola. Yeah, that's it.
And like halfway through the season, he was on the practice squad of another team, and just. But look, you're not going to hit all guys. It just doesn't happen that way. And hopefully, this guy turns out to be well. Look, you need a big body, and maybe they can mold him into something. We were all drunk last 2 years with, Bill Callahan can fix anybody. He can fix anybody. Any lineman, Bill Callahan can fix him. You know what? Can't fix everybody. And Bill Callahan showed us that you can't fix everybody. So hopefully this guy can come in. I don't even know who the old line coach is now that can work with him and make him good.
Here is the text that should make you feel good.
Okay.
Justin and Greenbrier, my favorite thing about the Titans right now is the number one topic is not the head coach, looking at you, Vrabel, the general manager, and especially the owner and how she needs to stay out of team business. We're talking football.
Yeah.
We're talking about the team.
Yeah.
We're talking about the roster and how we kind of feel better about it.
Right. It's pretty good.
I mean, like, I love it. I love it. Ryan in Florida saying Tate gets 1,200 yards. What do you think? He better. I hope so.
I mean, in 17 games, yeah. I mean, that's what
I will tell you, and this 100% could be, hey, you know what? I'm right, and this will be a good thing, or it's I'm trying to talk myself into it. Maybe it's a little bit of both. But I actually think they have a really good situation that they got the rookie that they took it for, that you want to be the franchise receiver of the future. But you got one more year with Calvin Ridley. Whatever Calvin Ridley is.
Sure.
Is he going to drop all the footballs again this year, or is he motivated because they just drafted his replacement and God gave him another chance with the Titans by him taking a pay cut? And then you got everybody behind them that's also going to be hungry.
So that's good. We're not counting on Calvin Ridley to do anything.
I'm exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like,
right.
He is, to me, he's the sprinkles. Like, that's what he is. Like, you got the cake, and the cake's baking right now with Tate, Io Manor, and DK is your core pieces of that cake, and it's still in the oven right now baking. But you got the icing and the sprinkles on top, which could be Calvin Ridley.
So I haven't even thought about him as like contributing this year. So anything you get out of him would be fantastic.
But if I jump in the DeLorean and I go to January 2027 and I come back and I go, guys, Cam Ward's going to throw for 3,800 yards and Tate's going to have 1,200 of them. Ridley's going to have about 800. And then everybody else, I mean, you guys would be like, that's fantastic.
But I want end zone production. I don't care how many yards you get. If you're not getting me in the end zone, I don't.
Well, fine.
Yeah.
True. I mean, but what is this red zone offense going to look like? I mean, are you going to, in everybody's mind, Tate should be like Jamar Chase and, have a 30-yard touchdown and,
right.
all that stuff. But I mean, you got, look, this Singleton kid, I think, is going to take Tajay Spears' job. In fact, go ahead and get this on record. I'm going to say this right now today on April 27th. Tajay Spears will not be on the roster because Nick Singleton's going to take a spot.
Two different runners, man. Two different.
But you're looking for a receiving type back, and that's what Singleton's supposed to be.
Okay.
And the previous regime thought Spears could do that.
All right.
He's been hurt.
I know. Just two different styles, two different. I hope he makes a team and contributes a lot. I mean, that'd be great.
I'm saying Pollard, Singleton, and then Carter or Kyle or whatever.
I'm good. I mean, here we go again. We get drunk like 6 receivers, 3 play, 4 running backs, 2 play. I just
well, you gotta have depth, Joe.
Beat them out. But we never see these guys.
Okay, but you still
never see them.
All right, well, there's a reason that there are 53 on the roster and not 36.
Right. So if a guy gets injured, you bring somebody up and find something.
Okay.
That's fine. But don't plan on him being injured. That's my thing. But they're two different running styles with these guys.
Spears, to me, I've seen all I need to see. He can't stay healthy, and even when he is healthy, he's not that productive.
Well, he's not a between the tackles.
He was a reach by the previous regime.
Uh-huh.
We all knew it at the time. We all wanted to believe that, okay, they're going to be right here because some of the tape you saw in college made you excited, but he has not been that.
Was he a Rand draft choice? Okay.
And Rand, gushed all over him.
Yeah.
I can tell. And look, I remember listening to that press conference on night 2 of the draft or watching it and going, oh, Vrabel hates this guy. Like, that was a guy that Vrabel didn't like.
But Vrabel was gone.
No, this was Vrabel's last year.
So 23. So this will be Spears' 4th year coming up?
Is that right? No, maybe you're right. Maybe this was a Callahan
I don't know.
guy.
I just remember the Cotton Bowl. I think it was the Cotton Bowl where he ran all over USC. And they're like, this guy's got something. He's got something.
There's been so much crap that's happened with this team that I lose track of time.
It's hard to put together. So was he in the Levis Skaronski?
So 23 was his first year.
So he was in the all right. So
that was Callahan.
That was Vrabel.
No, that was Vrabel.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's the Levis Skaronski draft, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
He had 100 attempts for 453 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I think they tried to run him between tackles. He's not that guy.
Right.
He reminds me of a Darren Sproles type guy who's just short,
and I think that's what
outside.
They were hoping he would be.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I think they'll give him a chance and see Dable can bring him in. Look, you need all the opportunities you need so it can happen. Who knows? And to get these guys in there and see him around. But at the same time, I mean, you've had a sample size now that's gotten pretty big about what he can and can't do, but he's not a between the tackles guy at all. And I think that was a problem.
Yeah. 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com on this Reaction Monday, which is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. Joe, what's our question of the day?
So it's a pretty simple one, Dave. We want to hear your thoughts on why Diego Pavia did not get drafted. I want to hear from you guys. We've had reaction all weekend, but we want to hear from you guys. 615-737-0125 on why you think Diego Pavia did not get drafted. There were other quarterbacks drafted ahead of him, some from an FBS school as well. So why do you think Diego Pavia did not get drafted? Let us know. We want to hear from you today on the show.
615-737-1025. We'll give our thoughts on that coming up next and have full draft reaction throughout the day. John McClain at 2 o'clock. It's Chasing Big Joe on a Monday, 102.5 The Game. Chase a Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Monday. Why didn't Diego Pavia get drafted? That is our question of the day, presented by Aries Tactical. Your skill, your safety, your Aries Tactical. First-time shooters shoot for free. Just tell them that I, Chase McCabe, sent you. Check them out at ariestactical.com. 615-737-1025. Why did Diego Pavia not get drafted?
Quick question before we go. All right, 10 quarterbacks were drafted in the 2026 draft. And some of these guys, like the guy from South Dakota, and let me ask you this. If Carson Beck played for Vandy last year, do they go 10-2? If Drew Aller,
I'm going to say no.
If Drew Aller played for Vandy, right?
Yeah.
So there's the confliction there of like, he got them to 10-2. Right, these other quarterbacks in the draft, I don't think that ones went after Mendoza and Simpson. Could Garrett Nussmeier have gotten Vandy 10-2? I don't think so. So that's the thing you look at, like, well, they did go 10-2. And look, you can't tell me that Vandy and Pavia was surrounded by all this talent. A lot of things he did on himself. But that's the question today is, why do you think Diego Pavia did not get drafted? 615-737-1025.
I think that the Heisman reaction and just look, I've always loved his confidence, but his confidence became cocky. And NFL teams don't like that. And he's also playing behind the 8 ball because he's smaller. And so I think all of that kind of affected it. And, some of the Gruden stuff I think might have helped him, but it also hurt him.
Right.
And I think an NFL team looked at it and went, you know what? And apparently there was a report that he was telling teams he wanted to be a day one starter. And it's like, dude, that's not realistic.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to waste my time with it.
I also think that like your cup over there, right? You're selling your cup. I know nobody's going to buy your cup, right? So later on, you're going to sit it out your door and somebody can pick it up. I'm going to go by and pick your cup up because I know nobody's not going to buy that. I know it's going to be there, right? So I think the same thing with Pavia is like, all right, we're not going to waste the 7th round. This guy. He's probably out there undrafted. Let's grab him. But I'm with you because sometimes they see like, look, we're trying to win a games here. I don't need this extra nonsense that's coming in here. And look at McClain Lemon, right? The young man out of USC drafted. A lot of it went 20th. They're like, that's a top 5 receiver, but his attitude dropped him so far down. I think a lot like your first reaction, Pavia, is always like, yeah, that guy, man. You see what he did after the Heisman? Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate, but no team really wants to waste a draft choice on that. And we saw that over the last 3 days.
You can call or text at 615-737-1025. You can also weigh in on the YouTube chat as well. Subscribe at 1025 The Game. You can watch us every day and interact with us there. So a couple of different avenues for you. Let's go to the phones. Rudy wants to weigh in on why Diego Pavia didn't get drafted. Rudy, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, gentlemen?
Good.
All right. What I think with Pavia, I think you guys hit it on the nail. I think his size caught him, but the extra baggage that he does bring around on it, and I think he has to mature a little bit. But I think he could be like I forgot the Saints, that second quarterback that comes around and does the run and everything.
Taysom Hill.
Yes, I think he can be quality like that, but he just has to grow up a little bit.
It's a great point.
Yep.
I mean,
thank you, Rudy.
And a lot of teams aren't waiting on him to grow up at all. Thank you, Rudy.
Let's go. Is this Stryker? Let's go to Stryker on our phone line. What you got?
Hey there, love the kid in college, but if you look at him in the history since the bowl season, the Heisman, what he's said in print, what his 2 brothers have accomplished, this is Johnny Manziel version 2.0, period. Who wants that?
Yeah.
Obviously, not. The Ravens in a mini camp situation. You're exactly right.
Thank you, Stryker. Appreciate it.
Stryker.
On our YouTube chat, A-Dub Wright said just a lot of bad moves by Pavia, and also mentions that he didn't hire an agent, or is asking, didn't he not hire an agent? He supposedly wanted to represent himself, which I don't really know why.
Let's go back.
Did that.
Jake Lyman broke it down. He did not have an agent for, that's what Jake said, an agent for NIL.
Yeah.
He had no agent for NIL, but he says he's got an agent for NFL. Allegedly, that's what it is. He told Gruden he didn't want an agent for NIL, but he's got an agent for NFL. That's allegedly supposed to be true right now. So,
okay, well, that didn't really work out for him, did it?
no. Somebody said, rude of the Ravens to invite Diego Pavia to their mini camp instead of their regular size camp. That's kind of funny.
That's a Big Joe type joke.
No,
right?
it's not me. I didn't get that. I wish I took credit for that one. Not today.
Not today. 615-737-1025. We'll get more on the a lot of texts. You want to read some of those? You got that pulled up there?
I do not, but I can, pal.
All right.
Sorry,
I'm trying to fix something. I just need a little help.
I have a tab that says how many punters have ever been drafted in the NFL. Why am I looking at that? Should be none.
I mean, I think there was at least one punter that got drafted and a couple
First
kickers.
Well, the Raiders took Ray Guy in the first round one year, and he made best punter ever.
Yeah, but Ray Guys do.
Yeah.
Ricky said it's simple, his height. He did get invited to Ravens camp. That is true. Joey in Gallatin says because he's I don't think I can say that word on the radio, plain and simple, with a low ceiling. He's a jerk.
He's a jerk. Okay.
To say.
All right.
4312. Diego didn't get drafted because he's going to have a killer acting career doing Lord of the Rings remix playing a hobbit. Oh boy. 1382. 2 words. Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, I mean I get it.
3337. Same reason Shador dropped last year. He acts like a kid.
1993. He just came up a little bit short. Mike in Lebanon says, I'm not going to read that. We'll go
7268. I think Pavia didn't get drafted because of the ego. Not that he's a bad player. Good thing is egos can be fixed. Can they? Well, they can be humbled. I'm telling you, I think if I'm him, the UFL is already like, come on, you can play this weekend. Like they're ready. They want him. Or go to Canada. I think he has a chance to do something that hadn't been done in a long time, and that is go to Canada, show out for a year or two, and then try the NFL again.
His ego's not going to allow him.
I know, and that's his biggest problem.
It's just.
But you know what? You know who? There's another person that their ego got in the way too, and I think they really could have made it in the National Football League. And they're a person that everybody just loves and wants to anoint. Tim Tebow. If Tim Tebow had either gone to Canada or switched positions and been a tight end or like Tim Tebow could have been Taysom Hill before Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to be.
Right. I totally agree with you on that. He can't. Yeah. And or go to a fullback or an H-back or something, but he didn't want to, and that's fine. 2876 says, oh, all these Texans must be Vols fans.
Read 3480. That's a good one.
Okay. If you're not tall enough to ride at Disneyland, you're not tall enough to play in the NFL. I wonder if the Ravens saw what the connection was to say, all right, we want to get this guy up here and do it. I mean, hell, he might make the team.
I think he could fit that offense.
Never know, right? I mean, as our buddy Tim Hasselbeck said, until all 32 teams tell you to hit the road, you keep trying and keep trying. But his ego right now, which is fine, is not going to allow him to go to the UFL or the CFL at this moment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, somebody needs to tell Clark Lee or somebody needs to tell him that. So the Ravens roster right now, they only have 2 quarterbacks, Lamar and Snoop Huntley, according to their roster. I don't know if they drafted anyone. So, I mean, like he's got it. I mean, I would say the chances are pretty good that he could at least, go into camp.
Right. Get to camp, make something.
Team.
Now it's up to him.
Yep.
Now it's up to him. You got invited to a camp. Go up there and see what you can do and make the team. Now it's on you to see everything. There you go. All right. Can't bitch about the draft anymore. To get drafted, go up there and put it in. And look, don't take away from what he did last year at Vanderbilt. 10-2, ran all over Tennessee. Hell, he still might be running the streets of Knoxville right now. Who knows? But what a great season and allowed himself to get to that level. That's just fine. But there's, like we said, all these texters are weighing in about why he did not get drafted. And they're all valid points. Every one are valid points. And the Johnny Manziel thing keeps coming up and up and up. And what GM wants to deal with that, right? If that's what's going to be.
So, and as John on YouTube points out, I guess he had he's told Gruden he didn't have an agent.
But that was NIL.
Well, that was NIL.
That's what
it was.
Jake Lyman said on his show.
So he had an NFL agent, no NIL. All right, I got you.
That's what Jake said today. I'm just going off what Jake said, and Jake's got a lot of intel at Vandy, so I believe Jake Lyman. Jake,
Yeah.
if you're listening, please call in and clarify that.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Right.
Do we have the Dan Patrick? So I guess this was today. This was Dan Patrick, and I did laugh at how he said his last name, but this was a little bit of what Dan said earlier.
Yep.
The message from the NFL is really clear. If you're not a can't-miss prospect, professionalism is not just valued, it's required. And that hurt Diego Pavia. You start to look at what you did in your pre-draft meetings with teams. Shedeur Sanders fell to the 5th round. It wasn't anything that he was doing on the football field. It was just personality. Pavia goes undrafted. He didn't have an agent, but you have Tebow, Cam Newton, Kaepernick, other examples of your backup quarterback being too much of a headline or potential for a headline. Pavia's being invited a tryout with the Ravens. He wasn't signed as an undrafted free agent. He gets to try out. Now, he's also friends with Johnny Manziel. That doesn't help. And you start to belittle Indiana football, Fernando Mendoza, Heisman night. Football moves on quickly. Just ask Johnny Manziel. It moves quickly. But Diego Pavia has a personality, but he does not have a personality that I want as my backup quarterback. I don't think he's good enough to be a starter in the NFL. The personality, that's who you are. You're selling that personality. But I'm not buying that. Teams are not buying that. Teams didn't buy Shedeur Sanders. He came in, he didn't interview well, he seemed entitled, and teams were like, you're not a can't-miss prospect. If you are, we can absorb that. We can try to smooth that over. Or we can sell that as, hey, come out and see this guy. He's a lot of fun. But that personality, then your commitment is questioned. You want to party? You want to be a star? I have no interest in that. It's a tough enough position to play. It's tough enough as a coach to try to survive, to try to win. You're going to bring him into Baltimore. You do have Lamar Jackson, and you have a new head coach in Todd Monken. I don't want that. You know, maybe if it's Andy Reid with Patrick Mahomes, maybe, but you got to be really good. Are you going to be able to break down defenses? Are you going to put in the extra time to make the starter look better? Well, these guys have been catered to, pampered all their life because they've been the star. Now you're going to be a backup? I don't get to play? That's the life of a backup quarterback. You don't want to see me. You don't want to hear from me. You just want me to help the starting quarterback. And that was the brutal reality that Diego Pavia was handed over the weekend. He did not get drafted.
That's Dan Patrick from earlier today, Diego Pavia. But
Dan, come on, buddy.
But you know what? I think everything he said is spot on.
Yeah, our text line is fired up for all that's going on.
Well, we'll continue this discussion coming up next. Why didn't Diego get drafted? 615-737-1025. That's our question of the day. Jason Big Joe on a Monday, 1025 The Game. What the hell is this?
Go, Diego, go, man.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Here we go.
Okay. Very nice. Chasing Big Joe, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel here on 102.5 The Game.
Parker knows back there in the studio. They know, man. This was on. My son watched this cartoon a bazillion times.
This was
growing up.
after my time, I guess. So I mean, I know what it is.
I
but
hope
Carmen San Diego, had you done that, I would have.
I'm glad you don't know this song, because if you did, it'd be like, it's a little weird that you know, go Diego, go.
I do not.
So there you go. Well done there, Dr. Crane, pal. By the way, 1 o'clock, Parker Hughes from MTSU, drafted by the Jaguars, will join us at 1 o'clock today.
Awesome.
And here's my little tidbit today. It makes me smile. Vanderbilt had as many players drafted as MTSU had.
Yeah,
that makes me smile.
That
Sorry,
is true.
MTSU grads here. I'm on the radio call with Chip, so love MTSU football. The fact they had the same amount of guys drafted, fantastic.
Well, we're also the flagship of Vanderbilt, so go Doors.
Oh, good for you, man.
Go Raiders, go Doors. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
615-737-1025. What? Why didn't Diego Pavia get drafted? Is our question of the day. Justin and no, I'm not going to read that.
Right.
Everybody's mad at Dan Patrick now for not knowing his name, which I kind of agree. He was the finalist. He was a finalist for the Heisman.
Yeah,
the runner-up. So
was he doing it to be a smartass?
No, I don't know.
It's like the Mariota. I'm like, stop it! But this is worse.
Yeah,
because I love Tennessee. So yeah, you should know this, right? I mean, it was talked about for a long. Outside of Mendoza and some of the big, and Vrabel. This is probably the biggest story of the draft.
Yeah,
is Pavia, first Heisman finalist in 2014 to not get drafted, and meanwhile other quarterbacks did get drafted. So there's a lot that plays into this, man. So that's why we want to hear from you guys today about why you think Diego Pavia did not get drafted.
Yeah, and I mean we've kind of covered it, what we think on that, but 615-737-1025. That is our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We'll continue to discuss it, but with the Titans draft, they're going back to the Arkansas guy, the guard that they took. What is your biggest concerns when it comes to Fernando Carmona?
I don't know a lot about him. I mean, because he's a big boy. Look, guards got to occupy space, and they need to be power blockers, not so much as pass protectors, but power blocker. If this guy can lower his pads and move people out of the way, I'm all game for that. And we'll have to see. Now, that offense at Arkansas was typical college offense, RPOs and RPOs. So you had to do a lot of movement, a lot of moving in the interior. That's okay. If you can get there and you can teach him how to pass block, he can occupy space. I got no problem with it. He played at the high level in the SEC. Arkansas, I mean, he played against Alabama, LSU, all the regulars we need to talk about. But a guard has to come in and be nasty, right? I think Skoronski has evolved into that. I don't think Skoronski was mean when he got here. I think he's evolving into be a little pissed off, and you got to play that as a guard. Hopefully this guy can come in and have the attitude as a guard. Jackson Slater, they drafted last year. I'm told he's an animal. He's pissed off. He's nasty. He's aggressive. That's what a guard needs to be. This guy could do that. I'm on board. But again, to wait and see.
Yeah. I mean, and look, I mean, let's create competition though. I mean, I think the more guys you bring in to training camp, and they obviously will have the rookie camp, and then they'll have the OTAs and the mandatory mini camp and all of that. But the more guys you bring in to compete for these spots, the better.
I totally agree.
If we're all, I think, cheering for Pat Coogan because he was fun to watch during the whole run for the championship with Indiana and was the MVP of the Rose Bowl. So we're kind of pulling for him. But if he comes in and wins the job, then he comes in and wins the job.
Yeah, that's right.
At the end of the day, that's what you're looking for.
The breakdown, I guess, is from Tehran. Carmona can keep tight, controlled contact, but his hand placement may lead to holding calls at the next level. That's always a concern. at times he can reach out for blocks. So again, I mean, there going to be a lot of more of I don't Dable's offense. I don't know if it's more running, more passing, more play act. I don't know yet. To wait to see, because I didn't see that much of it when he was with the Giants and things passed. But again, I mean, he's 6'5", 315, so he's occupying space, which is good. Now you got to block.
And that's what hopefully they will do. 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We'll have more coming here on Chasing Big Joe, 1025 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 1025 The Game, here on this Monday, reacting to the draft over the weekend.
I mean, do you think, like somebody said to me, is like you take out Vrabel and Pavia from the draft, there's no storylines, right?
I don't know if I would go that far. But yeah, I mean, I guess there's not like the ones that, really pop at you that much. I mean, with the Titans, I just look at, okay, on paper, I feel like the team got better.
Yeah. I mean, every team, hopefully they got better, but here's the crazy part. With the Vrabel timeline and the Pavia timeline, both Nashville ties.
Yeah.
It's just crazy that the two big off the draft stories are those two guys involved in Nashville. So this thing about Peter Schrager now coming out saying that the Patriots had contact with Vrabel, they had no contact with him, and then they came out and said, hey, we're just checking on you, make sure you're okay. I mean, why lie? Well, why are we lying about this stuff? You're the Patriots.
Right.
I'm just saying, look, we knew he's not going to take time off. We knew he's going to be in contact with them, but to say, hey, you doing okay today? Fine. I hope they did reach out to him and he's going to counseling and all that other good stuff. But it didn't stop there. Hey, what do you think about the 7th rounder? Right? I think 6th rounder. Yeah. And then the Patriots getting blasted for, they put a video out when Vrabel called their 1st round pick and said, hey, how you doing? He said, great, just hang out with the family. And Vrabel's like, that's good, hang with the family. All that stuff that went on.
Here's the thing, and like, I don't want to give this much more oxygen, but I'll ask you this straight up. When he was here, did you think Mike Vrabel was full of crap?
I think most coaches are.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
yeah.
Okay, so yes. I thought he was an a-hole. I thought he was a good coach, at times. But I mean, you see, and New England's going to see this too. Right now, he's being humble because he got caught. And when he's winning and, he'll cut up with you and everything's great.
Mm-hmm.
When everything's not great, you'll know it's not great because he's a jerk.
Yeah.
So,
but that's fine. I mean, that Parcells is an ass, right?
Right.
Belichick, Ditka, all the guys were. That's fine. But he usually doesn't come with what happened off the field.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but to say you're not going to have contact with anybody, that's just, but like, that's just I think every most successful head coaches, most, not all, have that certain like fire underneath, like Tom Landry. You never expected Tom Landry to cuss at anybody or yell at him. I mean, some coach, Don Shula, but these are all amazing.
But then you go to Jimmy Johnson that says, hey, the asthma field's over there.
Yeah. By the way, did you see his pictures of Troy Aikman this week fishing?
No.
It's on his Instagram. Jimmy Johnson's 82 years old. Looks like he's about 55.
I would love to get him on the show.
Great. I mean,
like, I don't know what we need to do to find him, but I would love to get him on the show.
Yeah, they're out fishing off Isla Morada and then deep sea fish. Anyway, all the coaches, I mean, there's a certain personality that fits these guys and see what works. And, Vrabel's 2 coaches in the NFL. You know who they were?
Bill Belichick. No, he had 3. He had more than.
The first 2.
Bill Cowher.
Yep.
Bill Belichick.
So they built kind of his persona of what he is. And I guess Haley was his coach for the Chiefs.
Who would have been his coach at Ohio State?
John Cooper.
John Cooper.
Yeah. So but you learned your success came a lot from Bill Belichick. I'm not saying that's how you mold it, but he tried to play that card here with us too as well. But.
So Jim Wyatt has put out the kind of where things sit with the Titans roster. Now, I know there are reports out there of the undrafted guys. They have not announced the undrafted guys as of yet, but so the current roster sits at 86 players. We know that's going to change because they're going to bring some undrafted guys in and cut some guys and all of that. The interesting one is going to be the quarterbacks room. Will Levis is still on the roster, and I am, but I'm not surprised by that. There's a report that one of the undrafted free agents is Caden Salters, who was the Liberty quarterback and then went to Colorado.
Tennessee, too.
In Tennessee, though. So there's a rumor they've signed him. So if that's true, you would have 5 quarterbacks on the roster going into camp, which I think that's fine. Cam Ward, Mitch Trubisky, Will Levis, Hendon Hooker, and then if Salters is there.
Do you tell Levis, we're good, just stay to the side? Because June 1st, we're going to jettison you out of here?
Probably. Running backs, there are 7. There are 7 running backs on the roster. Tony Pollard, Tyjae Spears, Michael Carter, Julius Chestnut, Khalil Mullins, Nick Singleton, Blake Watson.
Okay.
Wide receivers, there are 11. Calvin Ridley, Wandale Robinson, Alec Iomanner, Chim DK, Carnell Tate, KJ Osborne, Bryce Oliver, Mason Kinsey, Xavier Restrepo, Hal Presley III, and Lance McCutcheon. And then one of the rumored free agents is the son of WWE Hall of Famer Scott Steiner, Reckensteiner, or Rex Steiner, I think is his real last name, and I forget his first name, but he is rumored, and he's a receiver, rumored to be an undrafted guy. Tight ends, you got 6 with Bellinger, Helm, David Martin Robinson, Kalen Granson, Jaron Kanek, who I actually liked him. He's a special teams guy, but I liked him, and Joel Wilson. Centers, Schlotman, Pat Coogan, Trey Hill, 7 guards, 5 tackles. You got 20 defensive linemen, 7 linebackers, 6 corners, 7 safeties, and then 1 long snapper, 1 kicker, 1 punter. So that's where things sit right now.
Okay, competition. You go in. And look, you're like, 11 receivers. Well, in 2001, they had 11 receivers, and one of those receivers, undrafted, made the team and did pretty well. Drew Bennett.
Yep.
You just need an opportunity.
Well,
That's
and they had
all
a
you
guy,
need.
Nick Westbrook-Akine, was one forever.
And then the guy that dropped the kickoff in the AFC Championship game, that John Simon.
Yeah.
And I still give Derek Mason hell. I'm like, why were you not returning kickoffs? And Fisher wanted him to do just punts. So I blame
we need D-Mace just on punting.
I blame Derek Mason for
How
the
you doing,
AFC
guys?
Championship. Hey, the Cats play this weekend. I blame Derek Mason for the AFC Championship loss.
We love you, Coach. Well, that's not his fault. He didn't decide not to do that. They decided.
It's Derek Mason's fault.
Okay. Well, he'll fight you on that.
I'll be gone by the time he gets in today, so I'm not worried about it. Out the door.
Well, I'm excited about our next guest.
Yeah, I mean, it's look, guy. If you get drafted, it's great, right? I mean, they're not wasting. They are giving you the benefit of the doubt that you're worthy, and that's what I'm working for. You're worthy enough to be drafted, to be considered part of that. So Parker Hughes from MTSU, and look, I was told at his draft day that he went all out, that they were like, oh, who is this kid? What's going on? You put his tape on. I mean, the last couple of years covered his games. He's all over the field, and you want guys like that on your team. So Parker Hughes will join us next, and I'm texting with him. He's like, hey, it's been crazy the last few days. I'm like, oh, I'm sure it has been.
Well, we're excited about it. He will join us and take us through what this weekend was like for him. We'll do that coming up next. It's Chasing Big Joe, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel on this Monday, 102.5 The Game. Hour number 2, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Monday. He's Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe. Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier behind the glass on the ones and twos. Hope you're having a great start to your day so far. Exciting news over the weekend during the NFL draft. Parker Hughes was drafted in the 7th round by the Jacksonville Jaguars, the fine linebacker from Middle Tennessee State University. He joins us now on the program. Parker, welcome in. Congratulations. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm happy to be on the call.
Has it set in for you that you're now a member of a National Football League team, or does it still kind of feel like a bit of an out-of-body experience?
It definitely is. Saturday night, Sunday, all day, I was still in shock, but it's starting to settle in. I had a workout this morning, so it kind of hit me. I'm like, hey, I got to get back to work. This is another animal I'm about to come at.
Who called you from the Jags to let you know they were taking you?
To be honest, man, I answered the phone and my world literally I was in so much shock. I can't remember. I know I talked to the defense coordinator and the linebackers coach and the GM and stuff. So I can't remember who the first one to call me was, but I know I talked to all three of those guys.
Parker Hughes on the phone with us. Parker, congratulations, man. I had the pleasure of watching the last couple of years at MTSU. Take me back to Pro Day, because people told me your Pro Day was absolutely fantastic. What was your Pro Day like? Did you have a feeling that it went so well? Because it went so well. You obviously got drafted by the Jaguars, but tell me about your Pro Day, how important that was.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that every athlete going into the NFL, is trying to do, is have a really good Pro Day. And, I was blessed. I worked with D1 and those guys over there. And Cliff Marshall, man, he got me right throughout this whole process, man. He pushed me, kept me going. But I went out there and executed. I knew what I could do. I knew trusted my abilities. I just had to go out there and, put it to work.
Oh, that's great. Parker Hughes joins us, former MTSU linebacker drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Going up to the draft, did you talk to the Jags? Did you have any idea? Did you talk to several teams? Anybody that you're like, I think this team might be a good fit for me, but did you know anything at all?
Yeah, I obviously had a great process. I talked to a lot of teams. It started in Texas at CGS. Had interviews there and had Zoom calls, had phone calls from everybody, really. And I'm blessed to say that. But, I knew the Jags were the number one spot for me. I had great talks with Coach Tim Lukeba. And, we talked about this whole process. And that's where I wanted to be. And God willing, the Jags, chose me late in that 7th round. But, yeah, that's where I wanted to be the whole time.
Oh, that's great, man. So what's the process now? You flying down this week to attend minicamp?
Yeah, May 6th is whenever I'm going down. So trying to get ready for that.
Yeah, that's great. Let me ask you this. With the portal and everything, look, you're great at middle, man. Did it ever look to your right and left and like, all right, who the hell's this guy? Who the hell's that guy? But you kept on, right? I mean, you had no choice but to go out there and give everything you had, right? Even though guys are next to you, behind you, we're all changing, coming and going, right?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's journey is different. And definitely with how NIL is and stuff in college football, for me and my journey, it was for me to stay at Middle Tennessee, and it paid off.
All right, it did pay off. So when you got drafted, they called you Saturday night. I guess were all your friends and family around? Yeah,
they were. I kind of knew there was a chance, but either way, I knew I was going to be an NFL player Saturday, and this is something big. Obviously, I've dreamed about this since I was a kid, so I wanted my family and everybody around, and they were all around.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I was up there Friday for checking out spring practice, and that's when they were like, hey, this weekend, Parker Hughes has a chance to go because his pro day was so good. How much on the pro day were you nervous or just like, look, I'm going to go out there and get this done and then see what happens?
Yeah, there's always going to be nerves. I mean, this is all I've ever wanted, all I've worked for. Yeah, there was nerves going into it, but really after the 225, that was the first thing we did. I was good. I knew it was going to be a good day after, that was over with, and just went out there and executed.
Parker Hughes is with us. I'm sure you've had some time to think about your team and the teammates and everything. Is there anybody on the Jags that you're really looking forward to working with and kind of trying to learn from as you go through this process?
Absolutely. You know, everybody up there, man. They're up there for a reason. They're pros. You know, I'm going to get in that linebacker room and special teams, you know, all of that, and then just soak it all in, you know, just try to be my best and learn from those guys who have experience and have been playing. But, you know, I like to fish. I'm a fishing guy. I heard Travis Hunter likes to fish. I mean, he can take me out on his boat one day.
You could do some team bonding on that. How much has Coach Mason played a role in this process and being your head coach the last couple of years? What has he meant to this?
Man, he's meant the world, man. He's a great coach, a great leader. Been a true inspiration for me. He's helped me out so many times. Text me, hey, this team called. They're saying this and that. You know, he really has been a huge part of this, and you know, I've learned from him these past 2 years, these past 2 seasons, and I've learned so much from him. You know, he's a great coach. He's a better guy.
Talking to Parker Hughes on the Chase and Big Joe show today. So you said you started working out with D1. Was that back in the spring?
Yeah, that was right after or in January. I started January. I think it was like the 6th, and throughout, it was an 8-week program. Stayed up there for 8 weeks, and then came back to Middle Tennessee, and that was with Cliff Marshall and D1. Then came back to Middle Tennessee with our strength staff and Jamie Blacknick, and just kind of a few weeks before Pro Day was there.
Look, I did not know this. I'm reading now. You played at Sanford?
Yeah, I was there for 2 months. I don't know about played, but I was there for 2 months. Yeah.
Okay. That's where I played a long time ago. So I didn't know this about you, and you made the decision to come to Middle, and look, you took advantage of your opportunity. If you're telling somebody out there right now that's stuck at 4th string or at a school they don't like, what would you tell them, Parker?
You know, you just got to be ready for your opportunity, and whatever that is, and whatever your role is, embrace it. You know, I started on special teams as a walk-on, and now I just got drafted. So whatever coaches are telling you and whatever it looks like wherever you're at, just keep going, put your head down, and good things will happen.
Oh, that's so badass. Before they go, what number would you like to wear at Jacksonville?
Hey, it doesn't matter. I'm just happy to be there. Whatever number they give me, let's do it.
That's the right answer.
That's the best answer. Hey, man, thank you. We're proud of you. I think this is great, and True Blue, man, it's so awesome. We've been joking on the show today that MTSU had as many people drafted as Vanderbilt did. So we're proud of you, Parker, man.
I really appreciate you guys, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Parker Hughes, linebacker for the Jacksonville Jaguars, a former Blue Raider, joining us, and just a cool story, and excited for him to get that call. And you know, we cheer for any of the local athletes.
Yeah.
You know, Eli Stowers going to the Eagles. That's going to be a great fit for him.
Our boy Barry Brown from Pearl Cone got drafted by the Saints. So well done. And then the tight end from Stanford, I forget his name.
The Lipscomb Academy, didn't
With
he?
Lipscomb Academy.
Yeah.
I did not know that his
Sam Roche. Right?
Yeah,
Roche,
yeah.
that his great uncle was Merlin Olsen. I had no idea.
That's
no
awesome.
idea. And he played here at Lipscomb Academy, got drafted by the Bears as tight end. So I love it. So for Parker and Eli Stowers, and for Barry and Brown and Sam, right? Sam Roche, is that his name? Those guys getting drafted. So anytime local guys can get to the next level, play on Sundays, man, that's special. So really cool.
Where did Colton Hood end up? With the Giants from Tennessee? Yeah, the Giants.
Did he?
Yeah.
I know. And McCoy went to the Raiders. Boy, he
Yeah.
was emotional on his call.
He dropped.
Emotional. That could be, if he gets it together, man, that could be really good.
Oh, that could be a steal. So, I mean, look, the Tennessee, I saw a Tennessee Tech kid got drafted too. I'm blanking on who it was.
Drafted?
I'm pretty sure.
Tim Kutras? He got to the Chiefs. He went Nolensville High School, went to Tennessee Tech. He got invited to camp for the Chiefs. Great safety. He's a quarterback at Nolensville. His father's Nick Kutras, the longtime legendary football coach at Overton. The field's named after him.
Maybe I'm thinking of he signed undrafted.
That's fine.
Theron Gaines.
Or that one. Sperduto working his magic in Middle Tennessee area.
Yeah.
So anyway, look, you get in camp, anything can happen. Anything can happen once you get into camp.
Just get the call and go in there and work. By the way, I did see this on X. Yahoo Sports put this out about 38 minutes ago, in case anybody was wondering. So if Diego Pavia did elect to go to the Canadian Football League, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have his rights, have his CFL rights. They added him to their negotiation list in 2024. So if he does decide to go to the CFL, he would go to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Okay. Opportunities available.
Yep.
Make
The
it happen.
UFL wants him.
UFL. I would not go right now.
No. I'd go to Ravens camp, work your ass off, see what happens,
Yep.
and then go from there.
Absolutely. And do that. And then if the opportunity is not there, then go out and create more opportunities someplace else and get it. Now it's up to Pavia. Now it's up to you to get it done. And you could, all the social media is going to be there. All the nonsense is still out there. You can't get rid of that. So just say, look, I'm sorry. I did that. Own up to it, and now you go forward. Man, I'm getting attacked by something over here. My bad. Deep breath. I swallowed air. My bad, pal. Man.
Well
sorry,
done.
Diego, with
That was good.
Yeah. So anyway, Pavia can create his own journey now to make things happen, and that's a thing for him to do and see, and no more excuses. You can't bitch now. Look, you're in a camp. Go and get it done.
Can I, pun totally intended, shift gears and talk a little NASCAR for a minute when we come back?
Sure.
All right. Something great happened in NASCAR yesterday, and they better hold on and enjoy the ride.
Okay.
I will tell you what it means. We'll discuss that coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game.
Contact, 4 cars into the wall. Leaders coming to the line. Number 13, first-time winner, Carson Hocevar.
The Hurricane, Carson Hocevar, gets the win at the Talladega Superspeedway yesterday. Welcome back in, Chasing Big Joe. 102.5 The Game. Don't want to spend a ton of time on this, but I did want to bring it up because for those of you that are NASCAR fans, this kid has a rocket strapped to his back and can take this sport back to where it needs to be. He's marketable. He's got a personality. You know, can he be a little reckless sometime? Yes. But he reminds me, and other people, I'm not just the only one saying this, he reminds me of a guy that used to drive a number 3 car, and that is Dale Earnhardt. More so the Wrangler Dale Earnhardt, the Ironhead, you know, that, again, was marketable, had a personality, but was a little reckless at times. He's 23 years old. I think this kid can go places. I think this is the first win of many, and going to be exciting to watch his career grow.
No, you just can't say that without they said on the broadcast too yesterday. Mike Joy said the same thing, but didn't go into details. Why do you think he's?
Because he's got that. You know, when Dale was in his 20s, I mean, he rubbed some of the veterans the wrong way. He could be borderline reckless. That's why Darrell Waltrip gave him the name Ironhead instead of Ironheart. He, you know, some people called him Ironheart, and he goes, he's more of an Ironhead. And so I think Carson's the same way. There's been some moves that he has tried to make that just don't work, but it's entertaining for the fans, and I think he's going to grow and mature as a driver and learn as he goes. You've seen him mature a little bit more this year, and I think it's ultimately led to better runs. And then he gets a win at Talladega. He put himself in the right place. I mean, he's in the top 10 in points right now for a reason. I mean, he's been running consistently with that 77 team Inspire Motorsports. So he's going to, as he grows and he matures, you know, I think you're going to see him do even bigger things. And look, I mean, he's on a little team right now that he's trying to build them into something. I think the Hendricks and Gibbs and the big teams of the world are probably going to be interested in him in years to come. So, but like I said, I think him being marketable and having a personality is something that NASCAR desperately needs. This is good for the sport.
Well, I mean, they were giddy. I mean, they were excited for him yesterday to what he could do. Like, I watched the last 30 laps because I want to see Christopher Bell win and give us a shout out, but she didn't. Where'd he finish?
C-Bell ended up, I think he wrecked. I think he got caught up in something at the end. Yeah, he did. He was 17th.
Okay. All right, so I watched that, but then they were like, this kid. And I was like, oh, okay, they like this guy. And then he won. That was a fun race. I mean, packed at Talladega.
Oh, yeah.
Packed at Talladega. So anything that could put a good, fun light on that sport, man, which it needs, is pretty cool. So that was a fun day.
I believe Chase Briscoe is going to join us at the Omni coming up on Thursday. So looking forward to that. We're going to have a run of drivers leading up to the race.
Yeah.
Later in May. If we get Carson, you'll love him because he'll probably show up in a cowboy hat. He bought a truck that was painted up like Dale Earnhardt and drives that to the racetrack, you know, whenever they're at a track he can drive to.
Right.
Dale Earnhardt had been dead 2 years before he was born, but he loves Dale Earnhardt, loved Dale Jr. I mean, he's what they need because a lot of these guys, they're great drivers, but they don't have, you know, the personality that I think NASCAR needs for them to market. NASCAR just made a bunch of leadership changes. Steve O'Donnell, who I'm a huge fan of, is now the president and CEO, the first person without the last name France to be the CEO of NASCAR. Ben Kennedy, who is the grandson, who I think is really smart of the Francis. Okay. He is now the COO. So, I mean, they got some really smart people in place that know the things that have been holding them back and they need to change. Well, finding these marketable drivers that, you know, can help get people that don't watch the sport to watch your sport, I think is going to be a good thing.
I was glad they scrapped the Staten Island race. Remember, they're going to go up to New York City. I'm like, no, just stay where you're gold.
Well, they're doing, I mean, look, I'm glad they're going back to Chicagoland, not the street course, but the actual track, because that track is a cool track.
It rained every year, too, every time they covered that damn race.
Yeah, so I'm glad they're doing that. They're going to go do a San Diego street course race through the naval base, which I think is going to be cool. Because they do, I mean, Southern California is a good market, so they need to be in Southern California. They tore that racetrack up, so go do the street course over there and see what happens. I mean, I'm fine with and Christopher Bell brought this up. They need to go to. I would say you can count on one hand the number of tracks that should go to twice, and then everything else needs to be one time.
Give me your hand.
I would say Daytona and Talladega because you only have 2 tracks that are over 2.5 miles.
Love it.
So those 2 go twice. No, dude, the day race doesn't do anything.
Day race sucks. You're right.
So
okay,
the other one I could maybe make an argument for is Darlington, just because it's the old, an old track. Bristol and Martinsville maybe because you don't have as many short tracks, but if you add fairgrounds, you could have short tracks. You could have Bristol, Martinsville, Richmond, North Wilkesboro, Nashville Fairgrounds, and Iowa. So that would be 6.
Okay,
which I'd be fine with.
All
I mean,
right.
that's and do a cool little short track season. There may be a couple more you could add. I know they've talked about building a new one somewhere, but then like your intermediate tracks, like I'd love for them to come to the city of Nashville twice. So you do one out at the Super Speedway and then one at the fairgrounds. You're going to Indy once, go to Atlanta at one time, go to Texas once, go to Chicago, Kansas. I mean, you could add new venues. I miss Kentucky. It's just sitting there falling apart. Like I miss Kentucky. Rockingham. I'd love to see Rockingham brought back on the Cup Series schedule. So I mean, if you knock some of these places that you're going twice back to one race, you could add more venues.
Where's one place you're like, no, we're good. They shouldn't go back to? Sonoma.
No, they go to Sonoma. I like Sonoma,
Phoenix.
Actually. I like Phoenix, but
Vegas.
go once.
Vegas.
I like Vegas, but go once.
Atlanta.
I like Atlanta, but go once.
Homestead.
I like Homestead. Go once. They only go there once.
Is that where's the inn now? The Homestead? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're ending it. It was Phoenix the last few years. Now they're going back to Homestead.
I like that.
I think it'd be cool. I like the Clash at Bowman Gray, which is the stadium. It's a football stadium with a track in it. I think that's cool. I'd be okay with if you wanted to try the Daytona road course. I thought that was kind of cool. I'm glad they're getting rid of the Charlotte road course. They're just going back to the oval. I mean, Charlotte's another place you could say you could go twice because that's the hub, but still, I'd be fine with just the 600.
Is that all they got there now?
No, they have the 600. They have a 600-mile race and a 400-mile race.
When's the 400?
That's during the playout or during the chase.
Oh, okay.
So, let's see. The Circuit of the Americas is kind of a cool road course. Go to Phoenix once. Go to Vegas once. Martinsville, maybe a twice. Bristol, maybe a twice. But if they come here, I would say once.
Okay.
They're at Texas this weekend. Then Watkins Glen, Dover, you go for the All-Star race, but you could give them a points race. The All-Star race needs to rotate. Like that needs to be at a different place every year.
Is the race here at night?
Yes.
Should be. Night races are great.
Yep. So, I mean, look, I like some of the things they're doing. And I would also mandate all short track races should be at night. Like short track Saturday night, tempers flaring, do it in the middle of the summer. Like they should run the fairgrounds like July 25th in the middle of the damn summer at night.
You got pull, make them happen. You and Mike Organ together can make this happen.
Well, I talk about them in a positive way. You would think they'd want to utilize that some, but we'll see. Clay wants to weigh in on the Titans draft real quick. What's up, Clay?
Boys, how we doing?
We're good.
Big Joe, how was your weekend?
Fantastic weekend, man. Missed you though, but that's all right though.
What do you guys think? Seriously, I know there was a lot of, backlash over the first pick. I mean, you had the two defensive players sitting there, after Love went to the Cardinals and they chose this wide receiver who wasn't even the number one receiver at Ohio State. I mean, that guy's going to have a lot of pressure on him, don't you think?
Well, of course he is. But look, the guy's he's talented. I mean, he's really talented. And look, he was going to go in the first round somewhere. Somebody's going to take him in the first round. Titans took him. Now you got him. Now you hope for the best. And that's the thing what we got to figure out now is like, look, can he go down the field? Can he stretch the field? Can him and Cam Ward have to be a deadly combo together as quickly as possible. First pick in the draft, fourth pick in the draft. They got to be deadly soon.
So is Diego still going to go to this mini camp with the Ravens?
Yeah. Why wouldn't he?
You mentioned about the CFL. I just didn't know.
Yeah, they have his rights, but no, I think he's still going to go. I think he wants to play, be on an NFL team. So he'll go try out and see what happens.
Boys, I will have a big surprise for you on Thursday. We're going to be at the Omni, correct?
Well, maybe not now. What surprise you have for us?
Well, Joe, you said you don't like people talking about this, but Thursday's actually my birthday, so
love it. Bring us cake.
Think of a better way to spend my birthday than hanging out with two of my boys.
All right, bring us red velvet cake.
Red velvet. I actually really like red velvet cake.
Yeah, who doesn't?
I will try to find something.
Okay.
There's no try, only do.
Thank you, Clay.
Thank you, boys.
Gotta love Clay. We will get back into the draft and much more. I just needed a little NASCAR time. And also the Predators made a big signing too that we'll get into a little later in the show. Chasing Big Joe on this Monday, 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe 102.5 The Game here on this Monday. Hanging out at the Game Nashville studios.
So,
But
go
hang
ahead.
on. Presented by Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, Heating and Air Conditioning. Home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service.
How much do we need to pay attention to what's happening with this Texas Tech quarterback that's entering
It's an
gambling
interesting
addiction program?
It's an interesting because he transferred from Cincinnati and I guess was slated to be. Excuse me. Now I'm joining the
Your turn, Nick.
Nick, if you could just burp, that would be great.
I'll politely pass.
Well, this guy bet on Indiana football while redshirting for the Hoosiers as a true freshman in 2022, a season which he played a single game as reserve. The bets in 2022, according to sources, were in Indiana to win and then came in a game in which Sorsby appeared. That right there should kick you off the team immediately.
Yeah.
You bet on the team, your team, to win. That's fine, Pete Rose. You should be banned immediately.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I mean, this was always a worry that, when gambling became more legal in more states and all of that, you were going to have this happening, and you just have to understand, there are consequences that are going to come with it, and so he's entering a rehab program and hopefully get some help. And that then maybe he can resume his career, but we'll see.
He also has
that is an interesting thing to watch.
That $1 million exit fee from Texas Tech, I think, is still going about. So there's more to that story than what it is on front right now.
Yeah, Brendan Sorsby's who we're talking about. So kind of an interesting story to pay attention to as things go down.
Well, I think that should be now. It used to be when you go break for the summer, a coach be like, hey, make sure you stay out of trouble. I think this is like, don't bet. Stay off the app. Don't do it. It's not worth it. And then, but you just kind of think, man, in the back of your mind, how much that's happening around.
Did you watch any of you probably didn't, but I saw the clip of it. Mike Tomlin's going to join Football Night in America for NBC. I think he's going to be fantastic because he's just a good football coach.
Right.
And he went on with Maria Taylor to kind of make the formal announcement. And she asked him, like, well, who do you think is going to play quarterback for the Steelers? And he goes, I think Aaron's going to come back. I think they know that. And he was very forthcoming on the reason, he decided it was time. Like they hadn't, they had playoff woes and
right,
they deserve better. And he named some veterans on that team that deserved playoff runs. And he said, look, I have to know enough about this game that sometimes a different voice is a good thing. And, now they have a different voice and hopefully Mike can take them, to the next level. So I thought that was really cool to hear a coach say that, but I think he's going to do a good job. The show's going to travel. They're taking Chris Sims off of it and Tony Dungy off of it.
Are they?
Yeah. So we'll see who joins Tomlin, but I think he's going to do a great job.
Are they keeping Rodney Harrison on there?
I don't know.
Oh man. The Steelers have not won a playoff game since 2016.
Isn't that crazy? 10 years,
man. Yeah. I mean, he did win took him to 2 Super Bowls, so he's a Super Bowl winning coach.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but he did, he did that early in his career, but
he'll land someplace else, hopefully.
Oh, I think so. I think he takes a year off and then gets back in. Also, I mentioned the Predators made a big signing. They have signed a center, Vitaly Pinchuk, out of the KHL to a 1-year entry-level contract. This starts for the 26-27 season. He's third in the KHL in goals with 31, tied for 6th in points with 66. And again, he's a center. So he's a big-bodied centerman that Barry Trotz has signed. And I would say Barry Trotz is, just trying to set the next GM up for some success. He's 6'3", 203 pounds, and is only 24 years old.
Oh,
so a young centerman. The KHL and that they've signed. I don't know much about him other than, the stats I've read, but seems like this is a kid that, I mean, I knew who he was. When I found out they signed, I was like, oh, I know who this kid is. So, but I I think this could be help, and we'll see what he does next year.
How do you get a KHL player? Do you draft them? Do you
No,
go?
you sign. They are. If you don't already own their draft rights, then you sign them. They're just like undrafted free agents.
So do you have to outbid like the Bruins and the?
Yeah, I mean it's I guess he has an agent and goes through like a free agent.
Good. Well,
yeah. So, but we'll see. We'll see if this guy is competing for a spot on the roster or if he's in Milwaukee or whatever. But 24 years old, 31 goals in the KHL. I mean, I'd say it's pretty good.
Vitaly Pinchuk.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay. I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong. Good for them, man.
Pinchuk.
This team's never had like a dominant center, right?
No. I mean,
Ryan Johansson was.
Yeah, Ryan. You had Ryjo. You had, you've had O'Reilly the last few years. Legwan there for a while, but never a true number one. And I don't know if this kid is that, but I mean, the fact that he plays center and can score and has 31 goals to his credit, that's a pretty good thing.
Good. Keep adding more players to the team and see what happens. I mean, it sucks watching the playoffs and the Preds aren't in it for the second year in a row because for so many years they were in the playoffs and you kind of took it for granted. And now outside looking in, it's no fun at all.
Yeah. So look, I'm excited to see what he does, in rookie camp and all that stuff. So pretty cool to see that the Predators made that move. I know I saw over the weekend that, there's some finalists out there for the GM job. I would think they're going to be naming that, here relatively soon. It looks like Tom Fitzgerald is one of them, the former Devils GM and first captain of the Predators, assistant GM of the Florida Panthers, Brett Peterson, and assistant GM of the Edmonton Oilers, Bill Scott. Those are the three names that have kind of been floated about as the finalists. I mean, I would like to see, bring in somebody that is a different name and, maybe an up and coming GM. I mean, I understand the appeal of a guy that's done it before in Tom Fitzgerald, but
right.
I've read a lot of good things about both Peterson and Scott. So, and obviously Brett Peterson's won a couple of cups with the Florida Panthers. Edmonton's been to a couple of cup finals. So, I mean, these are guys that have been with some winning organizations.
Who makes the call? Haslam?
I would assume so.
But he's got to have advice,
reports are Saban's been involved in some of the conversations, which is interesting.
Is it not? Is there more to this that hopefully that we'll learn about? But Saban ain't doing this just to put his name on a.
No, but I mean, I think because Saban said it in that press conference, like I can hear him saying, like, I don't know, what about hockey, but like he knows about leadership and building a winning program. So, I think consulting him isn't a bad thing. I think Barry has influence on this. I mean, he's been talking with people about it and Sean. And so, but yeah, I mean, I would think the final would be the guy that signs the check.
Yeah. Right.
And so, I mean, look, I like all these guys. I like Fitzgerald. I mean, I don't, I think with some of the talent they had in New Jersey, they probably should have done more than they've done. So that worries me a little bit because I mean, they've had some pretty talented rosters, but if that's the way they go, that's the way they go. We'll see.
Well, and this is also one of the biggest decisions this team has made ever.
Yeah, you're right.
So you got to get it right. You hope you can get it right. It's like the draft, man. You hope that everything goes well, and this is the guy that you get. But it's huge, man. Everybody talks about going outside the family. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, and as Johnny on our on X points out, there's 8 more days until the NHL draft lottery. The Predators do have a chance,
right?
Because it happened last year. The Islanders jumped from 10th to 1st and got the number 1 overall pick. So the Predators have a chance of doing that.
Okay.
But it would make sense to name a GM before that date.
Absolutely it would.
So if I had to guess, it might be this week.
Oh, okay.
That's just a guess. I don't know that.
You know something.
I
like
know
it.
nothing.
Insider.
I know nothing. So that is just my opinion. Coming up next, we got some storms that could be coming to our area this afternoon. We are the People's Show, and we want to inform.
Yes.
So Fox 17 meteorologist and chief meteorologist for the Chasing Big Joe show, Katie Morgan, is going to join us coming up next. We'll talk some weather with her. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game.
Hey guys, Big Joe here. It's that time of the show we talk about mental health, and guys, it's a message we're not going to stop. In fact, we're going to double, triple down on this so guys can reach out and get the help that they need. And that's why we're so honored to be partnered with unitycares.com. Just go to the website, unitycares.com. When you land on the page, it says, thank you for reaching out. You've arrived at the right place. Your mental health matters deeply to us. You're not alone. And this is a powerful first step toward feeling better. unitycares.com. Again, a lot of guys I talk to, I don't even know where to begin. Got you covered. unitycares.com. Once you go to the website, everything is there for you. Listen, it's private, it's secure, it's confidential, and they offer telehealth. Therapy saved me, and it saves a lot of guys. If you're under that dark cloud right now and you feel like nothing's getting better, they're here for you. All right, you're not alone. They're here for you. Their main job is to get you back living the life that you absolutely deserve. It's real help for depression, anxiety, and mental health. And here's the best part again. They're based right here in Middle Tennessee, not some far off place, but right here in Middle Tennessee. And their only goal is to get you back 100% and living the life you absolutely deserve. The website again, unitycares.com. To go there, check it out. So much to see on the website there of things that they can talk about with you and help you with. It helps. It helps. Do it. Please go and improve your life today. We need you here. Our world's a better place because you are here. I tell you that every day, and we mean it. Website again, unitycares.com. It's unitycares.com.
Well, we're going to get some rain. I don't know if it's Smoky Mountain rain, but Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 the game here on this Monday. Some possible severe weather could move into our area tonight. And so to talk more about that, we say hello to Katie Morgan, Fox 17 chief meteorologist. Katie, how you doing?
Hello, hello.
Thanks so much for doing this. What are we expecting across Middle Tennessee going into the afternoon and evening?
Well, to start, it's pretty windy out there right now. So this is all ahead of what will come later tonight. It does look like we are in for, I would say, a pretty noisy night for thunderstorms. There's going to be a window of time in our western counties in Middle Tennessee and communities like Waverly, Clarksville, as early as about 7, 8 o'clock tonight. We're expecting a few isolated thunderstorms to begin to pop. It'll probably be a little later here in Nashville after 8, 9 p.m. But the bulk of the rain that we're expecting is probably not going to come through here in Nashville until 11 to 2 a.m. So unfortunately, we're talking about a true overnight event. And unfortunately, we also have the threat for a few tornadoes along with some damaging wind gusts.
So we've done this drill before, right, Katie? I mean, it's just be aware. I mean, have your phones charged. I mean, everything you talk about all the time, right? Just be prepared.
Yeah, for sure. And, I think we may be a little more on alert this time around. This is I would say a very run-of-the-mill, typical severe weather setup for us here. There's a slightly higher risk to our west, up towards Clarksville, even Paducah. And there's a heightened risk, I think, for a tornado or two, especially along and west of I-65. But we do want to stress making sure you have those ways to get alerts because we're talking about an overnight event. And I didn't know if you guys are aware or not that Tennessee leads the nation in nocturnal tornadoes. Oh. So we're unfortunately no stranger to them, but I think having those ways to stay alert through the overnight hours and staying up to date with the most current and up-to-date information is, what you can do.
So why is that, Katie? Like, is there a scientific explanation of why that is?
I think it has a lot to do with our geography, for one. We get these systems that come rolling in off the Rocky Mountains. They gain steam throughout the morning and the afternoon, throughout Arkansas and Missouri and Illinois about midday. And we just happen to be in that zone where these storms usually come rolling through in the overnight hours.
Explain again, tornado watch, tornado warning.
Yeah, so tornado watch means that conditions are favorable for tornadoes, and we're expecting storms that are capable of tornadoes to develop within a few hours. And that watch can last for several hours. A tornado warning means you need to take immediate action and head to your shelter or your safe spot in your home or wherever you may be because there is a threat that's imminent.
I didn't know this, and I found this crazy. I live out by the airport, that the highest winds at the airport were recorded, and this may be wrong, but I thought it was correct. The derecho, whatever that was, back in May of 2020, that thing was just like, what the hell was that? And so I'd never heard of that. You explained it well 6 years ago. I never want to go through that again, or a tornado, any of that stuff.
Right, yeah. And, we're kind of in the height of severe weather season, traditional severe weather season for us. And for those that have lived here for a long, long time, may remember that this is a pretty memorable day already, especially just south of us in Alabama.
Right.
April 27th, 2011 is the 15-year anniversary of the super outbreak that happened. So I don't like that it's on the same day, maybe bringing up memories for some folks, but the best thing that we can do is just be prepared and honor the memory of that anniversary.
Oh, amen to that. So I'm guessing it's an all-nighter for you, right?
Yeah, pretty much. We'll have a handoff. It's all hands on deck, so all three of us are going to be in tonight. And, we'll have a handoff early in the morning at some point. I'll just hand the baton off to Greg, and he'll be on the way. Because it does look like it'll continue, I think, in our eastern counties with a little bit lesser tornado risk, but still a pretty high wind risk for about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. So,
hey, you tell our friend Jill Jelnick if she needs to help you out. Yep. She needs to step up. I think she could do it.
Hey, she is usually the first man to volunteer. I will say she is a team player through and through.
There's no doubt about that. Right. Yeah. Katie, appreciate your time. Get a nap in before tonight, and we'll obviously be watching and keeping an eye on the sky.
All right, and just a note too, we have unfortunately another risk coming in tomorrow night.
What?
At the same time. So yeah.
Yeah, it's that time.
By the way, I love your
Facebook
page when people get on there and complain, and you just absolutely destroy them. It's one of my it's one of my guilty pleasures in life, Katie. It's like, then why are you here? It's so good. Keep doing what you're doing, Katie. You're one of the best.
Thank you. Appreciate you both.
Yep, absolutely. Katie Morgan, Fox 17 chief meteorologist, joining us now. And again, you can watch Fox 17 News tonight, and the whole weather team there with all those guys and girls will keep you abreast of the situation.
Yeah, I had no idea Tuesday night was something else as well. I remember.
We need the rain. I'm not trying to be one of those people. It's like, oh, we need the rain. We do. We're in a drought.
Yeah.
But obviously, I don't want to see severe weather. But it's that time of year.
For many years working in news, covering tornadoes, I just one of the least favorite things to do is hopefully it's all quiet tonight. But she brought up a anniversary in Alabama. Remember, we had Carson Tinker from Riverdale High School, played at Alabama. Yep. And his girlfriend was killed in that tornado in 2011. Yep. So devastating.
Our friend Michael Pope that used to work here, good friends with Carson Tinker.
Oh yeah. So it destroyed Tuscaloosa, and that path from Tuscaloosa down, I guess it's I-20-59 to Birmingham was one of the worst days ever.
I woke up that morning to the bad storms coming in. I was still living in Murfreesboro, my condo, and I'm usually my girlfriend has learned this about me, that she's like, let's go to our safe space. And I'm the one staying. I'm the safe place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm the one in the middle of the yard looking for the tornado.
Right.
I'm that guy.
Well, remember that day it was supposed to hit here.
Yeah. Right. Well, we had bad storms that day. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that morning, because it was all day.
Yep.
It was just all day. And that morning, I wake up, I'd fallen asleep with the TV on, and I wake up to, I think Charlie Neese was still on Channel 5 at the time, him being like, hey, if you're in Murfreesboro, get to your safe place now. And I'm half awake. And
do what?
It's hitting the window and everything. The dog's barking, and it's hailing. And so I look out my window and I see the damn funnel, and I'm like, oh, bleep. And so I grab the dog and we go to the bathroom downstairs, and the wind was I thought, I'm sitting in the bathroom, the lights are going on and off. I'm praying to the good Lord above. I'm like, don't take me now and all this stuff. And the wind and the rain was so bad, I thought my windows in the living room had busted out. I thought it was literally going through my living room. But it was just the wind.
Shane's like, could you not through my living room? Come on now.
But it turns out it was just the cat freaking out.
Yeah. It's that Good Friday tornado that came through that same, I think it's 2000, maybe same year, 2009 or 10.
Yeah.
I was with Dawn Davenport. We were at the Speedway. They were doing a big event at the Speedway, and they wouldn't let us go. I'm like, we got to go. And we escaped out. They were chasing us at the Speedway, and Dawn and I were running out to the car. We took off. We got it. Went to Murphy. The tornado just came through Murfreesboro. So when Katie says hide and get ready, be prepared. Don't try to be a badass.
So my favorite story ever, and I've told this to some of our friends with the Predators, because this was pre Sean Henry and all this group. I go to a Preds game. It's a Thursday night. It was college night. And I knew weather was coming, but I was looking at him I should be good to get out of the game and get back to Murfreesboro,
right,
and be fine. So my mom is like, "Hey, it's about to get bad." And at first, I was like, "Well, maybe I just go to Bellevue and just stay, just get up the next morning." But I was like, "No, if I do that, I'm going to go right into it. I need to stay in front of it." So the game ends, and I'm like, I'm about to hustle to my car. And my mom had said, hey, it's coming into Bellevue now. And as I walk out of Bridgestone Arena, the tornado alarms downtown start going off. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to ride this out. And I turn around to go back in, and they're like, sorry, you already left. And I looked at them, And I was like, do you not hear the alarm? Sorry, you already left. And they closed the door. Like, one of those people that was probably a volunteer or something, but it was like, okay.
Too bad.
So I book it to my car and it's just windy, but I can see the sky.
Is this pre-Music City Center? It's got to be.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
This is pre-Music City Center. So I book it to the car and get in and everything, and I'm like, okay, Lord, like you're with me. And I'm on the interstate and stuff, and there was like a little bit of a backup from just game traffic, and then it starts raining, and that sucker got right on top of me. I've never been more scared in my life because I'm on the interstate, it's windy, a tree or like a giant branch goes flying in front of me. Like I'm pretty sure there's a tornado somewhere around me.
Oh man.
And I finally get to the exit at Laverne, because like I didn't want to pull over on the side and just be a sitting duck,
That's right.
So I get off 24 at Laverne and get to a gas station, which isn't the safest structure in the world, but it was better than my car, and just run in and let it pass.
Don't they
over.
tell you that to park and jump in a ditch?
Yes. You want to be in a low-lying area.
I'm not. I know you should do that, but like, well,
apparently bridges are bad too, because it's like a vacuum.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know that. I'd be like, and I'm not getting a ditch. Like, well, there goes my car. No.
Yeah, no. I mean, they tell you, well, because like out in on my land and stuff, my house is not tornado proof by any means, and so it's like I have a lot of ditches that I would just go crawl in one.
So somebody at one time, I know we're right to the break, said about the Tennessee River does weird things to storms.
Yeah.
And I'm not smart enough to figure out what it was. They're like, throughout history, the Tennessee River has done weird things. So hopefully it does a weird thing and nothing happens tonight.
We're a little late. John McClain going to join us coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. Hour number 3, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Monday. Excited for our next guest, the one and only John McClain down in Houston. John, how you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. Still sorting through everybody's draft. I like what the Titans were going to do, what the Titans did, and I thought they had by far the best draft in the AFC South.
How do you think the Texans did?
I gave the Texans a B-. I love their first 2 picks. If I had been advocating something since the end of the season and I didn't like what they did, then, boy, I should be run out of this business. Because I said if they don't do whatever it takes to build C.J. Stroud a good running game instead of this mediocre slop they put on the field last year, they're doing him a disservice and everybody should be fired. So they traded for running back David Montgomery for a player that wouldn't have made the team in a 4th-round pick. And he's been a touchdown machine the last 3 years at Detroit. He had 33 touchdowns in the last 3 years. Texans had 34. He had 8 last year. Texans had 9. So then they had to build the interior of the line. Keelan Rutledge is just what they wanted from Georgia Tech. Did not give up a sack this past season, but he is the kind of guy who hits people that they blow snot bubbles. He's mean. He makes blocks downfield. They traded up to get him into the 2 spots. And I think if you got somebody you want and you got to give up a pick and you got talent everywhere anyway, why not? I thought that was a great pick. And then to get Caden McDonald, the best defensive tackle in the draft in the 2nd round, which they also traded up because they had the capital to do it. I thought those 2 guys, I'm not saying, I think Rutledge will start at center, even though he played guard at Georgia Tech. And I think McDonald will be part of the defensive line rotation. He's just 21. He'll be a big contributor. Some point he'll be starting, but they're pretty talented up front, including a tackle. And then they had a reach that I didn't count the Houston. I said Texans. I thought it was the biggest reach I've seen them have in all their drafts, and that was a tight end named Marlon Klein, a German kid, played soccer, family moved to Georgia because he was good at football, got a scholarship to Michigan. He was mainly a backup till this season. They didn't need to take him in the 2nd round. He would have been there in the 5th, but they passed up some other tight ends, and a backup tight end, a 2nd tight end was what they needed behind Dalton Schultz. So that's the one that I was negative about, and a couple others, but overall, I thought they did well considering they're picking low and what they needed.
Joe can probably speak more on this, but Keelan Rutledge played a couple of years at MTSU. We're big fans of him. I think that's a good pick.
Again, it's so funny. He reminds, I love the way he watched the draft with about 8 family members and friends sitting on a chair that looked like it was going to collapse on him anytime. And he was, he knew because they had told him what they needed, that he's going to come in here, probably play center because they need a better center. And he had to be bleeped out when he was talking to D'Amico Ryans. And then at the end, he said, let's go bury some people in the dirt. And who wouldn't like a guy like that? He kind of reminded me of Ben Jones when Ben Jones came to the Texans in 12, I think. And Ben, it's like he came from Georgia. He got off the turnip truck and barefooted and comes into the big city, and all of a sudden he won everybody over immediately. Started for 4 years, 1 at guard, 3 for center, and then the Titans stole him and he played 6 more years. And Pat Coogan reminds me of that too when I look at him, the 6th round pick. And one of the things you want with linemen today, because they need physicality in the off season more than any area, and they don't get it. Because you guys know, can't put on pads. They play patty cake all the time in the off season. It's about the mental part. And so you need guys that come in here like Coogan, Carmona. Those guys have started multiple years at different positions, and they're smart, they're disciplined, they're experienced, they work their asses off, and they're great team guys. You want guys like Rutledge and Coogan and Carmona on your team if you have needs in that area.
Well, go back to Rutledge for a second, John. I mean, we talk about the portal and all the bad things that are happening there, but at the core, there are good things that happen. He was able to use what he did at Middle Tennessee State to springboard to Georgia Tech, to springboard now to the Texans, and who knows, had the opportunity not been there, would he have gone the first round? So there's a lot of good things that happen because of the portal, and you got one in Texas with Rutledge because he's damn good and he just wants to play football.
And that's what they're looking for. And when they weren't terrible in offensive line. I mean, they won 12 games, and they did not have Joe Mixon, their leading rusher, but they still, when they got to the 5, they were having to run gadget plays because they couldn't run the ball in the end zone. Everything they were having to throw, and the defense knew it. And now with Montgomery, he was a 230-pounder, and he's been a touchdown machine inside the 5. And guys like Rutledge, who came in here, who people are just so fired up after listening to him talk and listening to him in the news conference, because you're right, Joe. He's ready to go to work yesterday.
Yeah, he is. John, our question of the day is, to our audience, were you surprised Diego Pavia did not get drafted? And, of course, there's a lot that say, yeah, we're not surprised at all. But when you look at him, John, I mean, he's the first Heisman finalist since 2014 to not get drafted. Is it the off-the-field issues, John? And you know all these general managers. Is it the off-the-field issues like, yeah, we're good, we're not going to waste a draft choice on that?
Oh, I'm not surprised he didn't get drafted. I'm surprised he didn't get signed as a free agent, undrafted free agent. Because, he measured 5'9", but you guys know he's a great leader. I thought the Titans might sign him to keep him there. It would have been such a popular pick. Why not? Why don't they have him out there doing a tryout at their mini camp? It just seemed like such a natural thing. I think he did some things wrong that would be overlooked if he was 6'1". And I think some of it was the thing about the Heisman when he was out partying, what he said about Mendoza. I think Johnny, talking about Johnny Manziel, was Manziel, what was his role with Manziel? Was he advising him or something?
Yeah, something. They became buddies.
That's the last guy you want advising you unless you're lining up parties. And there was some other things like that. But, he's the ultimate, I'll show you. So I hope it works out. I hope he gets a job. What he ought to do is go in that other league and show them, and then come in and show everybody, he's not going to be doing any stupid things. And he's older, so he should be more mature. I don't think the confidence thing, bragging, anything like that bothers him. I think it's the size, and I think it's just so much put together, and I'm just disappointed the Titans didn't get. I would love to see the Texans sign him just because he's such a great story.
Well, when you say the other league, are you talking about the UFL or Canada?
No, I'm talking about the UFL, but you know what? Canada, where the fields are wider and you got a lot more room to run, as much as he runs, and you don't have great tackling, and the way he breaks tackles and stuff, that might be even better. But more guys are getting signed to the NFL from the UFL than they are the CFL. So I think I would go that route.
We will have more with John McClain coming up next. Chasing Big Joe on this Monday, 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Monday, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel. Continuing our conversation with John McClain down in Houston. John, what can you tell us about Jackie Marshall, the defensive tackle out of Baylor that the Titans took?
Well, first of all, let me tell you about Anthony Hill.
Okay.
Anthony Hill is going to be a hell of a player. He was a hell of a player at Texas. After the 24th season, everybody thought sure he was a number one pick. And they changed coaches on that side of the ball, and he's still good. He just didn't become a number one pick. He's the kind of player Robert Saleh is going to salivate over. And he's much more advanced than Keldrick Falk, and getting Falk adding to the defensive line is good. But I think Hill's going to start right away, and people are going to love him. And as far as Jackie Marshall, he's better as a defensive tackle, not as an end. He was a better player in 24 when Baylor was real good and had some players we thought were going to be drafted. And this year, like all Baylor players, he wasn't as good. The team was a humongous disappointment. Certainly wasn't his fault. He ended up being drafted before any of the others. But I felt bad for him having to play on such a bad team. And I'm glad he ended up with the Titans because I think getting coached by the guys they have there will be really good for him. And I think Saleh will I'm not sure how he's going to contribute being a 6th-round pick. At worst, he'd be on the practice squad. At best, he'd be depth for now. But I think he's going to get some really good coaching there.
I saw a tweet, and I don't know the legitimacy of this, but it kind of got me thinking of that, there could be some GMs and people across the league that would petition the NFL to shorten the draft to 6 rounds because of NIL and all of that. And one GM was quoted in saying, we're going to draft a backup tight end that played, basically 5 games in 7 years with our 7th round pick. So again, I don't know the legitimacy of that report, but I do kind of understand how it's changed because of NIL. Could you see the NFL maybe looking at that and adjusting the draft in years to come?
Considering it used to be 32 rounds, 26, 22, 20. Sure, they could adjust it again. The last year was 8 is when the Oilers drafted safety Blaine Bishop, who I was about to write on the final cut. He was the longest of the long shot, undersized. And I happened to play golf at a place where I saw the secondary coach. And I said, can I run some things by you on some players that I'm writing about? And I told him what I was writing about the kid from Ball State. And he goes, whoa. Don't write that. I said, why? He said, that kid's going to make the team. That kid's going to make the team. He's got a chance to be good. I said, that bow-legged kid from Ball State? He said, yep. And he was right. And I see people, there's some things that really bother me. I see people ripping the Cardinals for taking Love because he was Monty Osenfort, who worked for the Titans and 2 times for the Texans, took the best athlete available, maybe the best player in the draft. And the guy can help him. He can score touchdowns. And people are like, well, they should have built their offensive line. There's no offensive lineman worth taking there. And they're going to pay him $13 million a year. That's more than all but 3. So what? If the guy produces, what does it matter? You get your quarterback next year. People just got to find something to complain about. And I just thought that was terrible. But the Texans and the Jaguars and the Colts should send thank you notes to Monty Osenfort for taking him, not giving Mike Begonzi. We'll never know what Begonzi would have done. And but I think most of us, we all wanted Love. I think they would have taken Love. And but Tate's a good weapon, but Love would have been too. So this thing about wiping out the bottom, if you know what you're doing, and you go, there were 175 Hall of Famers not drafted in the first round. Wow. And so many of them were drafted low. If you're a staff that can evaluate and then you can have some stability with your coaching staff and your systems and develop them on the practice squad, you can find them. I'd be more worried about, instead of the 6th round and 7th round, I'd be more worried about all the players staying in school that are getting $6-8 million. That's the ones I would be worried about.
Absolutely. John, every year during the draft, something happens like, what? Head scratcher? What's going on? And the Rams selection of Ty Simpson is that, they were so close. And now you got a receiver, Nakua, who's having a really rough offseason, and you were so close to winning a Super Bowl. I think a lot of people are like, why? And I get you can sit him for 2 years, develop. I get all that. But the Rams, John, are so close to getting back to the Super Bowl that having like a drafting receiver there would have been perfect. And a lot of people they can understand why Ty Simpson went right there.
It's a head scratcher to me because they're working on a contract extension with Stafford, who's been durable and is throwing the ball as well as ever. Quarterbacks are playing into their early 40s, and if that's the case, you might get 1 year out of him. Are you going to pick up a fifth-year option and no telling what it's going to cost of a guy who hadn't played for 3 years? And there's a good chance that's going to happen unless Matthew Stafford has told Sean McVay, and people are acting like that McVay didn't make the pick because he was not jumping up and down like they thought he would on TV. But maybe Stafford has told him, look, I'll play 2 more years and that's it. My plan is to retire when I hit 40. So then it might not be so bad. But I'm with you. They got to win now. They need another weapon. They got some young defensive linemen going to cost a lot of money. They could have gotten a defensive lineman there. So it's very strange. But they've been so good. It's hard to be critical of them, but I was stunned when they took him.
Were you stunned that the Chiefs took 2 defensive players instead of kind of trying to shore up the little offense right there? I mean, I know they traded away the guy to the Rams or quarterback, but took 2 DBs there. I mean, it's still a stacked team. I just thought that maybe one of those they'd add something to support Patrick Mahomes.
I think they lost so many DBs they had to. And the other thing, they've been doing this to Mahomes since he became a star. So why not do it in another year and let him work some magic when they need help? Because that defense was not as good last year as it had been, and they've had to make moves based on finances, and which usually hits people at some point when you've been good for a sustained period of time. And I think that's what we've seen Andy Reid do. Defense will be better for Steve Spagnuolo, and it'll be like Patrick make a miracle.
Ruben Bain, 15 to the Bucks. Watching his reaction, John, on draft night Thursday, he could have played that night and ready to go. I thought that was a good pick for the Bucks, who probably weren't expecting Ruben Bain to drop to 15.
I don't think so either. And I think one of the things, they talk about the short arms. Give me a bleeping break about an inch or two being that kind of difference. They'll move the guy around. I think the fact the car wreck, the fact that he had another speeding ticket in 2025, driving over 100. I think that is something that bothered them. And you never know what people find out. They have private investigators looking into players with baggage. It's not like Atlanta that knew James Pierce had more bags than Mayflower, and they took him anyway. Now they're regretting it, I'm sure, based on what's happened to him. But you talk about guys with chips on their shoulder. Usually that's who you want.
That is true. John, appreciate the time as always. We will talk to you next week.
Guys, thank you very much as always, and I hope everybody has a great rest of the week.
You too. John McClain joining us here on the program as he does every Monday at 2:00. We'll have more here in hour number 3. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game here on this Monday. Keep forgetting what day it is. I don't know why. I appreciate John McClain for joining us, as he always does on Monday, talking about the draft and reacting to it.
Yes, the Titans took a palindrome in the draft this weekend.
Oh, yeah,
which
you're excited about
badass.
this.
I think it's great. So my daughter's a palindrome. If you tell people that don't know what it means, you're like, hey, my daughter's, and it's how you say it, like, hey, my daughter's a palindrome. And they're like, oh, God, I'm so sorry. And they have no idea what a palindrome and they have no idea what a palindrome is.
How have you been able to cope with that all these years?
It's how you say it, but they took Jaron, is it Canuck? Is that how you say this guy's name? It's not Kanik, is it?
I think it is Kanik.
I think it's Kanik.
It is Kanik? All right. K-N. So palindrome is a name spelled forward and backwards, right? So we know that. That's what you learn on the Chasing Big Joe show. Because celebrity birthdays is so popular and so wonderful, we try to give you other little tidbits throughout the day. Because we're not wasting your time.
We're
at
not.
all. So I like this guy, right? Converted linebacker to a tight end, and his production's like better than like 90% of the tight ends that were drafted. And he was in Oklahoma, a school that doesn't throw the ball a lot. So I just think, at that point, like, let's bring him in so we can do and then get it done. There's another thing out there about if you're a small forward in college, 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", go play tight end. And they were showing these guys now in college, ex-basketball players. I'm telling you, man, like Jimmy Graham was part of that, Tony Gonzalez. If you got guys in college, 6'5", go out and play football. You never know what could happen. Now, I always want to see LeBron go out because he ran his mouth. I like to see Blaine Bishop hit LeBron across the middle back in the day. It would have been great. LeBron would have never played football again. So, but they're talking about all these power forwards in basketball, small forwards on that height range to go play pro football because they're making a nice little living right there.
615-737-1025 is our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. It's funny, when you would tell people your daughter is a palindrome, they're like, oh, I'm sorry. That reminds me of my dad calls me one day, and this is like 10, 11 years ago. Longer than that. I think I was still in Murfreesboro, so like 15 years ago. And he's all like, hey, well, I found out I have CRS. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what is that? Like, I'm freaking out. I'm like, is this, what is this? And he's like, yeah, can't remember stuff.
Squat.
And I was just like, you jerk.
Oh, yes.
I mean, yesterday would have been Dad's 73rd birthday.
73, man. That crazy time just flies by.
Yeah. So I had a steak and a Bud Light in his honor.
Good. You should have.
So it was a good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we continue to kind of look at the draft, and I'm excited to get these guys on the field now for the rookie mini camps and what are the OTAs and all that. And I know you can't really start hitting until training camp, but it's just like now we get to actually talk about some football.
It's fun. I mean, and you got the camps coming up, and then they'll go through camp in May and June. They'll take a break. July will be here. Then we're back into the swing of things for football season. And look, as we talked about, that's an important draft for the Titans last week with the new leadership. You feel like they're trending the right way, getting things done. A lot of, consternation over Carnell Tate, who, by the way, would have been drafted in the first round anyway.
Yeah.
Titans took him right there. It's fine. But, him and Ward worked with each other and get that job going, and Wan'Dale Robinson and figuring things out. But it just feels like this was so important because of what the team had been through the last 3 seasons, especially the last 2 seasons, which were an absolute disaster. Got the head coach you need in there and everything. So it feels like things are working that way, that guys want to win. And I know that should be in every training camp, but here we're not had that feeling the last couple of years. But now you got things going, moving the right way. Now you got to put it together on the field and win games.
Pick one. Tell me why. I think I know the answer, but pick one. Tell me why. Titans draft pick you are the most excited about.
I think it is Anthony Hill.
That's who I thought you'd say.
When we did the little draft simulator, he kept popping up.
Yep.
A linebacker at Texas that covers sideline to sideline and is not afraid to hit. I'm shocked he didn't go up in the first round, but as you read, linebackers typically do not go up in the first round.
Right.
That's fine. I think Anthony Hill is a game changer, and they need fast-moving linebackers who can cover tight ends, who can cover running backs out of the backfield. I think that's good. I think that's why that guy works.
I tend to agree with you, and I think that Robert Saleh went to Mike Borgonzi and said, look, we don't have to do it in the first round, but find me my Fred Warner. I need to find a guy that can be my Fred Warner with this team. And I don't know if Anthony Hill can get to that level. I hope he can. But all the things that I've read about him tell me that the prospects look pretty good, that he's speedy, that, you heard John McClain, I asked about another player and he's like, well, hang on, I want to talk about Anthony Hill.
Yeah, right.
So I think that I can agree with you on that. I mean, look, I'm excited about Tate because they got a 4th pick receiver that wasn't even the best receiver on his team, which is that's not a slight at him. That's just Jeremiah Smith was that good. So, is there more to this guy's game than maybe we have seen? And he's going to come in, get on the same page with the young quarterback. I think, those two can develop a chemistry together.
Yeah.
Like we saw with D Mace and Steve McNair and, Tannehill and AJ Brown. I mean, so, I think that is exciting, but of all the picks, I mean, and I know I love this because we're going to argue about it until through training camp. I think Nick Singleton is going to be fun to watch. I really do. I know he's a 5th round running back, but you look at, him breaking records at Penn State. I mean, he shattered some of what Saquon Barkley did there. I'm not saying he's going to be Saquon, but I mean, that's pretty damn good, to see that.
I get it.
And look, you're taking a flyer on a guy that had 2nd, 3rd round grades. So if he can add to your team and, take somebody's job, then great.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like with Restrepo, we were like, he broke all the records at Miami. He just
he
needs an opportunity, and it's not going to be here. I mean, that's just what happens. And those guys, I mean, look, they prove out in college, and you had the opportunity. Maybe they bring him back. I mean, who knows? They got 37 receivers on that team right now, so who knows what could happen. But I just think they're trending the right way for once, and I think they're going to be physical, which is huge.
Do you feel better about the receiver room when I tell you it's Tate, Io Manor, DK, Robinson, Ridley, and then somebody else?
Absolutely. Yeah, it sounds better. I mean, those guys have proven themselves. Ridley's the X factor. If he can come back and show something, show anything, would be a bonus for this football team. But I don't know how much to believe in that right now.
No, I don't either. But like as I said, he's the sprinkles on top. He's the icing on the cake. I mean, you're not expecting him. Really, I think you have no expectations. You're like, okay, he's here.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's the things I don't like. Half the time, I don't even think of he's on the football team.
I mean, if I tell you, like I said earlier, like, people are like, all right, well, Tate needs like 1,200 yards. Let's be modest. He's a rookie. So let's say he gets just over 1,000. He breaks 1,000. And Robinson, the highest that let's see, what's the highest that Robinson's had in his career? He has had, just a second. How you doing?
How we doing, Dan?
So he had just over 1,000 last year with the Giants. So let's say for a second you get both Tate and Robinson over 1,000 yards. And then Ridley comes in with 600-700. I mean, you're throwing the ball more.
See, I get it. I don't get in all that. I mean, one game you could have 130, and the next 8 games you disappear.
Right.
You got 17 games. Here's the thing. Ward and Robbie and Rexer talked about this morning. It was fantastic. Ward and Tate have to be dynamic out of the gate.
Agreed.
Have to be dynamic. I mean, it's got to be when a team game plans are like, oh, God, we got to stop Ward to Tate. We got to stop that. That should be the first thing. Everything else complements that. But you got the number 1 overall pick last year, the number 4 pick this year, a la Burrow and Chase. I get all that. You got to put that together. And only time will tell for that to happen. But hopefully those guys, and I think Brian Daboll's the best offensive coordinator for them right now. There's some good things that are happening with this football team.
Yeah, I think sorry, I was reading some of the text on the text line, but it is time, and I know people are very excited about this. It is time for What Day Is It? And celebrity birthdays. We would never not do it because you love it so much. We will do that coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5 The Game on this Monday. Hope you're having a great day so far. DVD coming your way here in just a few minutes. Hey, by the way, check out our YouTube page at 102.5 The Game. You could subscribe to that. We got exclusive content. All of our shows are there. Lots of cool stuff, and we're continuing to build it each and every day. And yeah, you can check it out, including what's coming up now, which is What Day Is It? And celebrity birthdays.
Okay, first on the list we have Babe Ruth Day, the great Bambino. I believe today is his birthday and or the day he passed away.
One of those days.
One of those days, yep. International Crow and Raven Appreciation Day, International Design Day, Marine Mammal Rescue Day. Shout out to the dolphins. Let's see. Morse Code Day is today.
Which one? Marino, Jason Taylor, Zonka.
All of them. All of them, really. You know, National Gummy Bear Day is today. Not spelled the way I thought it would be. National Devil Dog Day. Not sure what that is. Interesting. World. This looks like a weird animal. World Tapir Day. Tapir. Tapir.
Tapir?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a jackalope.
No, it isn't. It looks like an aardvark with, like, I don't know.
What'd you call me?
Jackalopes aren't real, buddy.
I know they're not.
Okay.
It's a drink. The place, the whatchamacallit.
Jackalope Brewery.
Let's see.
That's true.
National
Together
Prime,
at cromwellmedia.com.
National Prime Rib Day is today.
I love a good prime rib.
National Tell a Story Day. And yeah, that's it. There we go.
Good job, buddy.
That was great.
All right, time for celebrity birthdays. You got to get these within 2 years. Chase, you go first today. How old is the Iceman, George Gervin? You don't know who he is? You should.
George Gervin is 78.
77.
74.
Okay,
Dr.
was
Crane,
close.
how old is Jason Whitlock today, the writer?
Jason Whitlock is 56.
53.
59. Apparently he lives here in town. I don't
Yeah.
know. Chaser, how old is Chris Carpenter, former St. Louis Cardinals pitcher?
I'm going to say he is 45.
43.
51. Dr. Crane, how old is Austin Dillon?
Austin Dillon
NASCAR.
I'm going to go 41.
Austin is 35.
36. Chase on the board. 1-0. Chaser, now you better get this, because if you don't, it's a crime. How old is Lizzo?
Lizzo is 28.
29.
39.
Really?
She's 39.
Wow.
Dr. Crane, how old is Kate Pearson of the B-52s?
67.
73.
78.
Jeez.
Isn't that crazy? Chaser, how old is singer Sheena Easton, who, by the way, here we go, Joe, played Sonny Crockett's wife on Miami Vice. Sheena Easton.
Is it me?
Yes, Chaser.
I will say 74.
72.
67. Dr. Crane, how old is drummer Patrick Hallahan of My Morning Jacket?
Patrick is 53.
48.
48 exactly. Up 3-0. Chaser, how old is bass player Rob Squires of Big Head Todd and the Monsters?
I don't know who that is.
Same.
47.
44.
61. Dr. Crane, how old is bass player Joseph Pope of Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats? I don't know any of these people.
70.
58.
47. Chaser, how old is guitar player John Osborne of the Brothers Osborne?
44.
48.
44 exactly. Chase up 5-0. Dr. Crane, how old is actor William Moseley from the Chronicles of Narnia, that movie where they go into the closet? Sorry.
What was his name again?
William Moseley.
William Moseley is 39.
42.
At the buzzer, Dr. Crane gets it on the board. 39 exactly. You lose 5-2. It's like watching the
wow, it's 5-2, really?
Watching, Chase went 5-2. It's like watching the party animals play the Savannah Bananas last night on TV. And I watched.
Did you see Russell Wilson?
No, I must have turned it. I watched like 20 minutes. I'm like, why am I watching this?
He looks so fat and out of shape.
Does he? Yeah. He's worth about 150 million. I would be, and I'm fat and out of shape. And I'm worth $150. So
Call him a full-figured athlete.
Thank you, pal. Appreciate you. So that's it. Good job on Chase wins again.
Yeah,
it's like a weekly thing, daily thing. Huh?
Well, I try. What can I say? So good stuff. We tomorrow. Good stuff.
Good stuff. God, I hate the word good. I hate the phrase good stuff.
It's such a crutch.
It is, because you're not paying attention. It's good stuff. I'm like, no, it's not.
I am paying attention, but I just didn't know what to say.
No, not in this
Yeah.
part of it, but in most people, it's good stuff. No, it's not. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. When do they start? I mean, do they start a rookie camp this week? Usually it's pretty quick.
I know Parker Hughes goes next week, May 6th. By the way, thanks to Parker Hughes from
that was cool.
Getting drafted on the Chase and Big Joe show today.
If you missed it, you can subscribe to our podcast.
He said it was a highlight of his entire life was coming on this show. I don't think he actually said that, but I hope he meant it. And
I doubt that. One thing I forgot to mention when we were talking about Carson Hocevar, that if you haven't seen the video that was so badass, is he sat on the window and drove the car around the racetrack, a la Dale Earnhardt when he was.
How do you do that? Is he 7'8" and his
no,
leg can reach down?
You can lock it in gear where it basically keeps going.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the inertia of the car. But I mean, he basically put it in cruise control, essentially.
So kind of like a Waymo.
Yeah. But the funniest thing was he was like trying to steer it, and then he tried to turn around and basically banged into the wall.
I saw that. Now, don't you have to take the car for inspection?
Yeah, it's fine. And the new CEO, Steve O'Donnell, was asked, like, well, is this going to be banned on Monday? And he goes, no, we like creativity, and that was creative. And as long as he's safe, we're fine with it.
Broadcast crew guys were like, this will be a
on
Monday.
No, and you know what? I bet you the NASCAR's instinct was, we got to ban this on Monday. And Steve O'Donnell did the right thing and said, no, we're good with it.
Why would you ban it?
Because what if he falls off the car and gets run over?
That's on him.
Yeah, right.
That's not NASCAR's fault. I don't know. I just thought it was great. I watched the last, like I said, 30 laps, and I texted you during that. I'm like, this is kind of fun, man. Yep. That was a fun race yesterday.
I tweeted out right after the race. I said, I want to read exactly what I said. I said, NASCAR should embrace what they have in front of them with Carson Hocevar. The kid has talent. He's marketable and could be one of the stars of the future. He's got a rocket on his back. They need to just hold on and enjoy the ride. Congrats on the first
Pretty good. Pretty accurate.
So hopefully they can do that. That is going to do it for us here today.
Hey, we always end our show to our message out there for the guys with mental health. I tell you, you're doing a fantastic job. I understand some days are rougher than others, but listen, you're here. Our world's a better place because you are here. Go to therapy, unitycares.com. Therapy changed my life. We need you here. And you're doing fantastic. Again, I tell you all the time, after all you've been through in your life, you are still here. That's how tough you are, how wonderful you are, and absolutely how beautiful you are. You're doing fantastic. Reach out to us anytime. We're here to talk anytime to help you out. Know that we love you. More importantly, more than anything else in this world, please know how much God loves you.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll DVD coming your way next on 102.5 The Game.